You're tuned into the How Is He podcast. This is the second half, presented by Podge Popa, your weekly source for all things Carlow soccer.
Welcome to the How Is He podcast as we present our weekly bonus episode. The second half where we discuss all things Carlow soccer. Joining me this week is Mr. Dennis Geitch-Byrne. Second appearance?
Second appearance,
For
yeah.
you. Thanks for filling in. Thanks for coming.
How far down the pecking order was I?
7 or 8, I think, actually.
7 or 8, not bad.
I'm only joking. How are you? You well?
Yeah, all good, yeah.
We have results, Geitch. We have fixtures. We had Fantastic Five. We have a couple of questions that come in.
Yep.
And just a general chit-chat on all things Carlow soccer. So I think we will start with results. It looks pretty thin in games, doesn't it? It's only one sheet of them.
Still plenty of games over the couple of days, in fairness, yeah. Starting Friday.
Well, it was FAI Junior Cup weekend, right? So a lot of things weren't out or were out, or wasn't it?
It was. There was a couple of Yard Route and FAI,
No
Walk
Walk
Route and FAI, Felix Route and FAI.
Felix Route,
Yeah.
We started with the Premier. Geitch, Friday night, Collection 0, Bagnallstown 2. Still no Danny Doyle, as Mert said last week, he's going to be out for a while, but it's a good win. It kind of keeps them in the hunt there a little bit with Bagnallstown, with Noak not playing, right?
Yeah, good win. Away from home, always tough to go up to Collection. I was talking to somebody who was at it. They said that Bagnallstown were well worth the win.
Okay.
Robbie got one, and I think Keane Doyle got the other.
Yeah.
Robbie, I've put up some good numbers, in fairness to him, goals.
Where's he playing for them, Geitch? And that's Mert. Is he playing in a kind of a free role, is it?
Yeah, he played, I think his first game back was actually against us, typical, down in Pats, beginning of January, and he was kind of everywhere. He was kind of more off the right, just his pace, burning pace.
Yeah.
But he's putting in, number-wise, goals, assists, couple of good returns there from him. I see Dockett's got an assist as well for the second goal.
He was on the bench, right? He came off the bench.
He came on. I'd say he was up all night watching the video after his assist. Surprised he hasn't sent it in.
Yeah, I didn't get it anyway.
But yeah, no, a good win for Bagnallstown. I think it kind of, with New York not playing in the league this weekend, it's probably a nice reminder, maybe that they're still there.
They're still there,
Do you know what I mean? So, I'm sure Mort will be happy with that 3 points anyway.
I don't think he cares the minute he's in Cheltenham, isn't he, right?
That's why I'm here, is it?
No, we're coming on anyway. That's embarrassing. I'm only joking. In the under-18s girls, Nurney 0, Vale Wanderers 1. In the Paul Curran Memorial Youths Cup Division 1. That's the Division 1 Youths Cup, obviously. Boughton Glasstown 0, St. Joseph's 5. Burn Celtic 4, St. Felix 2. That's a bit of a shock, I think. I know Joy's won that league, but I thought Felix...
Yeah, Felix were probably second. They were the third maybe in the end.
Second or third.
Second or third in the end, yeah. Joy's looking for double.
It's first. We kind of brushed over it pretty quick. Like it's a big
first adult
achievement for them.
First major
trophy really, like,
say,
you know.
Yeah.
And usually that's kind of a driver or a kickstart for things as well, you know. Yeah. In the Division 2 league, Youth Division 2 league, Dead Rubbers, St. Pat's 3, Ballymurphy 4, Hanover Harps B, Noak 5.
Yeah, I think that Pat's Ballymurphy Youths was 6-3 actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that wrapped up that league. The
league is over, and Bagnallstown.
Bagnallstown,
they
had that one. Yeah. Tough season for Pat's Youths, but in fairness, fair play to the lads for keeping it going. I know there was some involvement there with the younger lads as well, the 16s, and Jamie Farrell Tungsten. I think he stepped in with some of his lads as well to kind of help out. So look, hopefully that'll stand to a lot of them that are still youths again next year. A
lot of them are youths again next year, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I see Owen Murphy's lad is playing a good bit of B-team soccer there as well.
Yeah, good chap as well, yeah.
That's I know because they don't win, but like in relation to things, it's still progress, right?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. And they're actually playing each other, I think, in the cup this weekend.
Are they?
If I'm right, yeah, we'll get to the fixtures.
We'll do the fixtures, yeah. Sorry, I'm fucking so unprepared.
That's why I'm here, Podge.
That's why you're there, bud. In the FA Junior Cup, Felix 3, Mill 1. I think Felix have mine in the next round, I think.
Yeah, they do. That was actually played down in Pat's Saturday evening.
Was it?
Yeah, at 5 o'clock.
Any reason why?
I actually went down to collect the VO Saturday evening, and Wayne Murphy was coming up.
Yeah.
And I asked him why the game was in Pat's, and he said Vale are building new dressing rooms or something
Yeah,
down
they are,
there.
yeah.
So he just said the game was there. It was at 5 o'clock, which was a strange time, I thought, for a Saturday evening or Saturday game. But I do know Felix, I'm fairly sure, had the launch of their fundraiser for their pitch development Saturday evening, Saturday night in Brennan. So it obviously suited them all to be down there afterwards. So,
but sure, it's great to give it to them as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sure, like if there's nothing on it, show yourself.
Definitely, yeah. 3-1. I think Felix scored three
Jack
very,
Burns
very early
again.
goals.
I think Jack Burns scored again, did he?
Jack got one, Aaron Dorgan and Dylan Murphy.
Yeah, Dylan's a good lad, isn't he?
Yeah. So that was FAI Junior Cup.
In the Division 2, White's Pharmacy, Nurney Villa 7, St. Felix B 2. And then going into the Sunday games, the Premier Division, Parkville 0, Pats 2. Talk to me, Goich.
Yeah, obviously delighted with that win. Good start. We penalty after about 7 or 8 minutes. Good bit of play in midfield. Ball played into Jan and he clipped it over the top. Callum was kind of at a bit of an angle in the 18-yard box. Keeper came out and took him over, to be honest. So that was a very good start for us. That was 1-0. I kind of felt we were in control, Podge. It was a deserved win, really.
3 points, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Parkville didn't threaten a whole lot. I don't think Sean really had any saves to make. To make in the game. But like looking back at the game, we were comfortable, but Sunday morning it didn't feel like we were comfortable down there. You know, you're away from home, you're a goal up against Parkville, you've the likes of McCann, you know, you've some very good players floating around that can score.
Yeah, even if you're 3-0 up in Parkville, probably in any venue away from home, you're still kind of that little bit on the edge.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
and it's always tight down there. Like we've had a couple, like last season we won late 2-1.
Yeah.
The season before 1-0 we won late. So it's not a place that you would typically go down and win 4 or 5-0.
Well, I don't think there's any away fixture where you go now when you're going to win 4 or 5-0.
No, not the way the league is gone.
Not in the Premier, no.
Not this season
Not a
anyway.
chance.
No. But no, we were comfortable. The second scored midway through the second half. Callum and Lord combined well down the left. Lord broke into the box and Paddy Hickey, a big chap.
Yeah, Paddy still going.
Flew into a tackle, won the ball in fairness to him, but geez, he must have had a JCB at the bottom of his foot because he dug a hole in the pitch like the Grand Canyon.
Go ahead.
Fairness, he won the ball. Now, at first I thought he was after fouling Lord. He didn't, in fairness, when you look back, but he went to kind of play the ball out, came off Callum, and it fell to Jan. Bit of an angle. Daisy cutter of a shot under the keeper. I don't know if you saw it or not, but kind of went under the keeper. He won't be too pleased if he looks back at it, and that was kind of it then.
Was Jan going League of Ireland, or is he going League of Ireland, or was there conversations, or do you reckon?
There was conversations around with training and stuff like that, but I haven't really heard anything more since Podge, to be honest.
He would have been signed by now anyway, I'd say, afterward.
Yeah, well, can they sign players now?
I don't know what the window is, guys, to be honest. It just changed that much, I don't know. But I
know they were in here a few weeks ago where they name dropping a couple of lads who were still with clubs, which probably didn't go down too well.
I don't think it did go down too well, but
rightly so.
Is it an arrogance to like we're League of Ireland, so we can, we can go after whoever we want, kind of thing, without realising how strong connections and links lads have to their clubs?
There is, but like if you're Carlow Kilkenny, Podge, like you want to be having good relationships with the clubs in Carlow and with the clubs in Kilkenny.
It's vital, guys.
You don't want to be upsetting clubs
it's fucking vital because they're your nursery.
Absolutely,
they're your nursery. Like, and I don't mean in the actual term of the word nursery. What I mean is, if you do want a player who's playing really well at junior soccer, you need to have a really good relationship with that club. Especially
when it's very early days for Carlow Kilkenny.
And to be fair to them, the one thing I will say about Carlow Kilkenny is to try and do things the right way as best they can.
Yeah. Look, there was no malice.
Malice,
in fairness, let's be honest, there was no malice. But you kind of pick and choose where you drop names.
Yeah, I didn't say any. Oh, I joke. Hanover won, Burn Celtic won. Was talking to Popa.
Right.
He felt like they left it behind him. But I was also told that Burn Celtic missed chances as well.
Yeah.
It was a typical game that was in the plots, bypassed the middle for most of the game. Popa kind of 2 points dropped is his kind of feelings on it. I think Hanover are in a position now where it's getting closer and closer and closer.
Yeah, I wasn't obviously at the game. It was the same time as ours, but the feedback I got, somebody was there for probably the last 20 minutes, half an hour, was that Hanover didn't look like they were going to score.
Okay.
It looked like a team who they kind of looked defeated, even at that stage of the game. Now, look, it could be completely not the case, but that's the feedback I got, and that wasn't from anybody that would have any affiliation with any club. So that was their kind of view on it. I suppose from Hanover's side, they probably looked at the game against ourselves a couple of weeks ago, and then the Burn Celtic game as 2 games where we could get 6 points here, and kind of bring themselves up the table a little bit. And
traditionally, you couldn't fault them for having that mindset either.
No, definitely not.
Do you know what I mean?
Back yourself at home every
100%.
time. Yeah, no matter where you are on the table.
Especially there, like
they hadn't before we went up. I don't think they'd lost at home since that New York game.
They hadn't
very early in the season.
Yeah,
you know.
I've seen him in the plots twice since then, and it turned over Parkland, turned over Bagnallstown.
And Cleshin, to be Cleshin at home a week after Cleshin had hammered New York.
Yeah.
You know, so they had some good home form, in fairness.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's getting tight for them. It's getting uncomfortably tight. In the Junior Cup. Yeah. Sorry, go on. Go ahead.
Just say, at this stage of the season, you run out of games, don't you?
Yeah, was it 6 games? Well, we'll get to the tables in a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
In the FA Junior Cup on the Sunday, Bunclody 0, Creegyard 1, Bridge 2, Newark 3 after extra time. Sam Barnes, is that his name?
Yeah.
Got the winner. What you hear on it? We talking to Murph?
Briefly, he never rang me back. Yeah. He sent me
call him out.
He sent me a call me. He's only a 40-year-old that sends call me's. But no, I just a couple of messages in that back and forward. Newark were 1 up. Comfortable, creating lots of chances, and didn't take them, and Bridge equalised.
Ed Lilla scored. From
I think he got the second.
Year.
Bridge got 2-1 up.
Apologies. He got the second, yeah.
Yeah, he got the second. So Bridge equalised and obviously went 2-1 up. And then, by the looks of the Connect, Dean scored in the 90th minute.
Yeah, it was late equaliser.
Yeah,
it was late equaliser. Now, I don't know. I don't know whether to take the Connect as gospel, because it depends on when whoever's putting it in.
Yeah,
but from what I heard, it was a late equaliser.
Yeah. So that was down as the 90th minute. But I know what you mean. If you score late on, everybody's going nuts, aren't they? So we may have to take the Connect.
Yeah.
And then the winner was down as 110 minutes.
It was the first half extra time, right? You got to extra time, I think.
I went to extra time, yeah. Because the Connect wasn't updated for a while, because I actually texted to find out what way it finished. It was 2-2 for a good while after on the Connect. But it was 3-2 after extra time. Barnes got the winner. That was played down in Highview.
Greg
Namana.
On their Astro.
And when I kind of realised during the week that game was going down to Astro, I was thinking Newark will be licking their lips there.
I'd love to know the reason why it was moved from Bridge.
I tried to find out today. Sent a message. There wasn't really any reason given. So maybe the pitch wasn't playable.
Yeah.
Problem with the pitch. I don't know what way it's been.
There has
the last
been plenty
couple
of rain
weeks.
and all that.
Yeah,
exactly.
So look, the pitches in Kilkenny will be similar position to the pitches here after the rain. But to bring Newark down to Astro, although Newark aren't an Astro side, they have the players that absolutely love playing on it. So,
absolutely.
There you go.
Well, fair play to Creegyard, and I think who covered Creegyard? I think it was James Dowling.
Yeah, Dowling and Bunclody. Yeah.
Congratulations to both teams advancing. That Pats are in that as well, right? You got a bye?
Yeah, we're playing Crossabeg.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, we were down there, down beside Ferrycarrig Park, Wexford Youth place.
Is that
that's the place we went down. Remember Badger got the intel.
Yeah, that the fullbacks were weak.
I wouldn't call it intel. The fullbacks were weak, and they were.
It was like Maicon and Carlos.
Roberto Carlos and Cafu were the fullbacks. Yeah. They absolutely
destroyed
it. The lad in midfield, he was like John Joe Shelby as well. He was unbelievable.
Because didn't they play a championship match the night before?
Well, that makes it all worse, because they played a senior hurling championship the night before.
Yeah.
That went to extra time, I think. So the boys
and they all turned
barely
up for
got a bit.
Yeah.
They walk and mooned it, and they came out. And
they were lethal.
3-1, I think it finished.
Yeah.
So we're back down there at the end of this month. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We got a bye, you see. That's why we weren't playing in the FA Junior this weekend.
Yeah.
We'd got a bye, yeah.
In Tully's Travel Division 1, Slaney Rovers 2, Newark B 0. Big 3 points for Slaney, that is, by the way.
Yeah.
Steps them a bit closer to it. Ballymurphy 0, St. Pat's 3. Was that a walkover, Goich? St. Pat's
No,
beating?
that was a result.
Down in Ballymurphy?
Yeah, I actually thought it was 2-0, but it was 3. I got a bit of feedback from Bradders last night on Ian Bradley. Away to Ballymurphy.
That's a big win for them.
They actually flew down on Saturday, so they did, to take out the travel on Sunday. No, I said it was well deserved win. It could have been more. Defended really well. Who scored?
Tom Mitchell get one?
No, Henry scored the first one.
Brilliant.
Karam got the second. And Mort Dial got the third.
Mort. Good player, Mort. Good lad.
Cracker, Bradders said.
Where's Mort playing for them?
Centre midfield. As far as I'm aware,
Good soccer player.
Yeah, good lad to have around, good attitude. And the type of lad you want to bring to Ballymurphy too.
100%.
He wouldn't be afraid to put himself about. So.
She first playing senior for Greg, as he was in around it anyway.
Yeah, he would have been there for a couple of years, alright, yeah.
Kilree 4, Bottinglass Town 5. An absolute ding dong. I thought Kilree, the connect again let me down because I thought Kilree were home and hosed at one point looking at it.
Yeah, and then you go in and all the goals are after being added in.
Yeah, then you're like, what? Because do you know when you use the connect to go off topic a little bit and say, I don't X over, I just close it.
Yeah.
When you go back in, it goes back to that page. And it does not. Sometimes it doesn't update. You have to refresh it to update.
You're better off going out and going back into it,
Yeah.
Good.
The only thing about that division is it's not bad news for the teams who are like Ballymurphy and Kilree because there's no relegation in that division, right?
Yeah, because they're both Pats and New York are both ahead of those two teams, aren't they? Yeah,
they are. Well, it would have been between Ballymurphy and Donman, but obviously Donman left it.
Yeah.
So there's no relegation in that division. So that'll be whoever comes down for the Premier and says Slaney go up or Bottinglass go up, looking more like Slaney. That'll be a tasty division next year.
Said every year.
It is.
And we'll always say it, isn't it? It's like you say with the championship in England. It
is comparable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the results, like in fairness to Slaney, and Dom will kill me for saying this, I'll jinx them, but I think they're the only unbeaten team in Carlow of all divisions. Men and women's. Yeah. No, sorry, Bagenstown won the Division 2 Youths Cup without losing a game. But if you look at adults, are not included the youths.
Slaney were betting the Shield. Pat's bet Slaney in the Shield, did they?
They're still in the Carlow Cup anyway.
Who bet them in the Shield though? Must have been betting the Shield by someone.
Shield, I don't think, no. But I mean league, sorry, yeah. Which is to go on beating odds, do you know, especially when there's another team battling it out with them. Sorry, Dom, if stay unbeaten.
The Division 2, Parkville United be 3, Castle Rangers. Now, Castle Rangers have fallen off big time. Yeah,
that game was actually on down in Parkville the same time as our game.
It was on the back pitch.
On the back pitch, I saw a couple of Mill lads there actually. A couple of, I think, one of the Mackie chaps were there.
Oh yeah.
Castle Rangers results the last couple of weeks. I think a turning point in that, Podge, was when the games were called off a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Castle Rangers were meant to play Mill at home in the youth centre, and it got played in Pats.
Yeah.
And I'm just I know Mill don't play on Astro.
That would have been at request of Castle as well, I presume.
Well, I would think so, yeah. Yeah, like if you're in a title race, you're bringing one of your rivals away from home, because I know Castle Rangers had been.
It becomes neutral.
It does.
It does. 100%.
Because they're a good side up in the youth centre. They're hard bet up there. So I think that was probably a turning point in that league for Castle, and brought Nerney, kind of opened the door for Nerney a little bit as well.
Yeah. Wolf Hill 0, Cretty Yard United B 5, Derby game there. Wolf Hill have kind of fell off a little bit as well. They started strong enough in that division and they kind of fallen off a little bit.
Yeah, I would have expected them, especially after last season, but it's hard to, when you come up to get back-to-back promotions too, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah, absolutely.
Happy to kind of stabilise first and then.
Do you know what it is though? Bigger club than you think.
Wolf Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Around a long time. Yeah. Do you know, a long time they're around.
It's great to see them back around too.
It is.
It wouldn't have been there for a while, you know.
Absolutely. In the Division 3, Ballymurphy Celtic B3, Parkville United C1, Burn Celtic B2, St Joseph's 0. Joys have fell. They started really well there as well. Yeah. St Anne's Ballylina, I won't do a pop it. 7. Collection FC B3. Ballylina win their next game and they win the league.
Win the league at the weekend, yeah.
I'm 99% sure on that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Which first season back in, and I found out about that chap playing up front for them.
Timo had said,
playing for Laois.
Yeah,
done
good
his
lad.
medial. He's banging in
Medial or
goals.
ACL or
I think he had a
something,
hat-trick at the
was it?
weekend.
Yeah,
And I think he
In the
assisted
goals.
2 of them.
there was always good players out around.
I'd say that's where always
When we were juvenile, they
Juveniles,
always
yeah.
had strong
Yeah.
teams. Like to be big pick
Yeah.
kind of out around there, wouldn't there?
Yeah, like
I know
mean,
you've over into a tie is close enough, but
yeah, but you'd get a lot of kind of the remainders from a tie and kind of Wolf Hill and Cretyard and that Swan area, like, you know, that would come in there to play for St. Anne's, you know.
if they're obviously Division 3, they have the league pretty much won. Like up to Division 2 next year, if they were to keep what they have, add 1 or 2, like players might look and go, Jesus, St. Anne's are a home place.
Yeah,
I live close enough.
yeah,
I'll go down and have a look, and all of a sudden
yeah.
you could see them up in Division 2, Division 1 in time.
Well,
like, you know.
I think they have 20 plus. I actually think they have 30 plus players registered. Because a guy I work
one
with
team,
is plays with them, and he was saying that they registered like 30 odd players, I think, or something like that. Like
Fair play.
that screams like
Huge
Jesus.
numbers.
None of these guys are on the way up.
Yeah.
Hanover Harps B2, Paz, Globetrotters 2, Bagnallstown AFC 1. In the Ladies League, Desmond 2-2, Ballymurphy Celtic 2, St. Pat's 2, Parkville United 6, Nurney Villa 1. In the LFA Ladies Junior Cup, Vale Wanderers were away to Whitehall Rangers, and I think they're an ace.
They're not. No.
Are they not?
I think they're up at the airport.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
All right,
They're at the
okay.
airport near Ballymun's pitch, yeah.
5-1, 5-1. What do you want to do, guys? Will we do the questions?
Yeah.
We'll ask the questions before we go into anything.
Whitehall Rangers. You never know with Dublin clubs, don't you know? What you're going to get.
No. That Ladies League is fairly competitive there, though. Even if you look at it, I know.
Vale are
Vale
close enough to win the
close
door,
enough
they
to
know.
win
Yeah.
But like the rest of them are kind of beating each other. You know,
Yeah,
they're kind of
Vale
taking
actually
points
play
off each
Pats
other.
at the weekend, yeah. Pats have assembled a good squad there. Just
They have.
for whatever reason, they haven't really had everybody available, I don't think,
Yeah.
for most games, which is obviously hard. So
The best abilities
look, at
available.
least they're back in playing anyway, which is
That's
good.
brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hold on, because the questions are on me phone. Silence in a podcast. Sorry, guys. Press pause. Where is it? There it is. It's a bit of a long one, guys, right? But I think it's a good question, right? Do you think the league could do more to help prevent clubs from folding when presented with their concerns and fears at the league formation meeting at the start of the season? Or am I wrong in thinking that they're not worried at the present time? They just want to get teams registered to the league and not really worry about the consequences to the already small divisions. I think they should use their heads and common sense to protect the clubs in the league and to help them survive rather than fold. What are your thoughts? I think there's an error in the question. I understand the concern, but the error in the question is early enough for me. If a club is going to a formation meeting with concerns,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be putting a team in.
Yeah.
Like if you we're talking in the infancy at the start of the season, you're going to a league formation meeting,
Yeah.
and you're saying, "Oh, we'll have a team, but we only have 12 registered." Like that's a red flag.
Yeah.
for me.
It depends on the context, look, of why a team pulls over league or a team falls or whatever. With the registration and the formation meeting, is there a minimum amount of players that need to be registered for a club?
I think there is. I
Yeah.
don't know what the number is, but if you look at it from a club's perspective, right? And say, for instance, they want to compete, they want to play, no matter what division they're in.
Yeah.
They want to have a team. They're after getting a new manager, but they've only signed 16 players. Like they're going to do everything they can to go to play every week. They don't think of the pitfall of, geez, if we lose 3 players here,
Yeah.
and and 2, say if we have 5 missing on a weekend,
Yeah.
we don't have a team.
Mm.
Like I don't think that's a league issue. Like I don't think the league can prevent that from happening.
No, I don't think so. Like you could have 16, 17 players, and this could happen to any club,
100%.
by the way. Like, so if you've 16 or 17 players registered And all of a sudden, come November, December, 5 lads turn around and say, like 5 friends say, we're
Yeah.
all travelling
Yeah.
to Australia in January, we're gone.
Yeah.
Like that's a sticky situation for a club to be in.
Absolutely.
From a league's perspective, I don't know what the league can do there. Like I don't think they can do anything. If you have financial troubles, maybe within a club, or you have troubles with pitches, trouble, with gear, all that kind of stuff, like I'd have no doubt the league would be able to and would be doing their best to support a club that way.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the players, unfortunately, I think the league, there's not much the league can really do. And it probably does go back to, like you said, the formation meeting. If a team has 12 or 13 players only registered and they can't even say we're going to have 5 or 6 more when the GA is finished,
Yeah.
in a month or 2 months' time, like I said, that is probably
Yeah.
a red flag. And does the league turn around at that stage and deny a team entry into a league?
Yeah.
Now, you don't want that to happen either.
Mm.
But at the same time, that would prevent maybe some clubs from going under if they don't have the players. Like, it's
But
it's tricky on both sides, I
But
think.
if you compare it to, say, you want to go get a loan for 70 grand, right? And you walk in and you meet the loan officer and say, look, I'm opening an account next week. I actually have 30 grand to go in.
Yeah.
Do you know, the loan officer isn't going to go, oh yeah, that's not panic, sure. I'll approve that there. I'll stick that in next week.
Yeah.
So it's like, a formation meeting, if you're going, no, I know you signed 13, but we're actually went for 7. Like, there should be maybe, and Brian will probably put me right in it.
Well, he's probably the man that.
Yeah, there should be maybe like a market. You have to have X amount of players registered and on the Connect.
That's what I mean. Is there a magic number that, okay, you need 14, 15 registered, ready to go?
Yeah.
And then if you're telling us there's 5 or 6 coming in, or you're working on
let's see them.
signing 5 or 6 lads, that's fine.
Let's see them, because it's not a big ask now to sign for a club, because you can do it. It's all online, right? So there's no paper trail anymore.
It's much easier. Yeah.
Like and I suppose, to play devil's advocate from a league's perspective, like they do protect clubs, they do help clubs.
Yeah, well, they've helped clubs in Carlow in previous years.
Financially, they've helped clubs.
They have massively.
They're protecting, I suppose, the kind of integrity of the Premier by saying, if you want to play in this Premier, you have to have A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're not like it's not kind of nonchalant where they're just like, yeah, sure, you're going, go ahead. Sure. Because the last thing they want from an admin point of view is teams dropping out. I guess the last thing the league want, like, because it's a disaster.
Even for progression.
Yeah,
the league want to have as many teams and as many clubs involved.
Yeah.
Across all the divisions, men's, women's, youths. So I don't think the league would be putting up any barriers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's probably a duty to all the other clubs, in the sense that the league must say, right, you need to have X amount of players registered. And they probably do. Look, Brian could say, oh yeah, that's what happens at the moment. I'm not 100%.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm in a club that we don't have those type of conversations, because we have the numbers there and we have teams.
Yeah, but if like, I suppose if you separate yourself from the league and kind of say that, is it a kind of a pride thing where I want this club to field the team every week regardless? So like, you're probably going to fiddle, numbers, things that say that, oh no, we have a team, because you don't want to be losing whatever you have, or there might be a chance of success, or you're like I said, you're waiting for them 2 or 3 players. But like, it's very hard to imagine being in a situation, especially when you come from a club like Pats, where you're as far as I'm concerned, no matter what division you're in, there'll always be a senior team there.
There'll always be, yeah.
No matter if it's Premier, First Division, Second Division, Third, whatever it may be. But like, if you're, say, we take Dolman as an example, like, it's terrible to see them drop out. Can they bounce back? Absolutely. But I think maybe where they need the support is guidance on how to develop your admin side and make sure that you have enough bodies to cover games.
Yeah, and that's where the league obviously can step in, because they're the ones that they know all of this inside out. How can we help them? And look, you've mentioned Dolman this year. Like, there's always been teams over the years that have unfortunately been in the same situation, and you hate to see teams go.
Yeah.
You hate to see teams, whether you have any affiliation or they're your biggest rivals or anything like that. You hate to see teams go.
Yeah.
Because there's people within those clubs that have been trying to keep it going and have been keeping it going for so long, and they're hurt, they take it personally, and all of that stuff. So I would like to think that the league would be looking back maybe each year and looking back over previous years. Why are teams folding?
Yeah.
You know, what's the common denominator here?
Yeah.
Is it players? Is it money? Is it pitches? You know,
What's the
what
root
exactly
cause?
is the reason? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if they have the root cause, they can fix it or try and prevent it from happening. You know, going forward. But it's a case by case kind of thing
Do
as
you know
well,
what?
though, isn't it? Like each club,
absolutely.
they don't all fold for the same reason or go under for the same reason.
You
like,
can't.
You know?
The league couldn't run a workshop on how to keep numbers in you know.
No, but they can
players. But
Yeah.
it is guidance. So there's
can
no
guide,
it's not protecting a team. It's guiding a team. But at the end of the day, the league can't sign players for you.
No.
You know, the league will provide money for facilities and progression and development and support you wherever you want and give you the weekends off here and because you might miss one or two, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But they can't actually get lads to sign.
No, that's
You know,
up
so
to the
it's-
club, yeah. And it's difficult to sign players, Podge.
It's very difficult to sign players, but it's like the one where I say, and this isn't having to go at clubs or anything like that. If a club is losing players, like the first place a club should be looking is themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're
why
folding,
are we losing
like it's
players,
very
yeah.
easy to say, why didn't you protect us?
Mm.
Oh, come on, lads! You had
Yeah.
10 players missing 4 weeks in a row, but it was left you with 11 players. Like, you know, of course you're going to fold.
Yeah.
And it's tough and it's harsh, but it's the reality of the whole situation, you know. But
Yeah.
in Dolman's case, I think because they have a good juvenile set up there, they had a youth team last year, the year before. You know, they had some really good players that went to other clubs. Like they could come back next year, no problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like
You know.
I think they're probably in a better position than other clubs who have gone in the
Absolutely.
past. You
Yeah,
know, like you
absolutely.
said, juveniles.
They have 35s as well. They have a good 35s
Yeah,
there
the
as well, right?
35s. They have a lot of people who are willing to
Yeah.
you know to work in the club and to get it going. Like they lost a lot of players, a lot of good players.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And in fairness to them, they started the season where a lot of people had said they wouldn't start the season potentially.
Yeah,
after losing
100%,
that many
yeah.
players. Like so.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's a funny one. It's the players they lost are players you don't replace,
Yeah.
no matter who you sign.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to
Especially
replace a
some
Joe
of the quality
Dorn, a
players
Liam
they had
Ryan, a
lost,
Danny
yeah.
Thompson, you know, a John Ryan. Like
Yeah.
they're just massive
Two Dory
players for you.
chaps
Like
went to
two
Hanover as
Dories,
well,
yeah.
yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
they're not players that you can go out and replace straight. Like they're players that are massive.
yeah. That's the
You
goods
know.
of a team.
Yeah,
That's
100%,
kind of
yeah.
gone. So
Yeah. So the fact that they went so far has probably accredited them.
yeah,
That
definitely.
they, you know, they
yeah.
kept going. So, but I've no doubt they'll be back at some stage anyway. We do
Sure.
have another question, and it's a difficult one to answer,
Okay.
but we have the answers. No cop outs. Who was getting relegated from the Premier?
Who sent that in?
I'm not going to mention names,
Oh,
but he's a former Parkville goalkeeper.
right. Okay. Say no more then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams still nervous at the moment,
Let
Podge.
me have a look at the table, guys.
Yeah. We had the launch. Oh, no, I didn't have the launch night. The live episode, sorry. Do you remember up in Scraggs, the last one?
Oh yeah.
And I was up there and you asked the question, you asked me who would struggle
Yeah.
this season. And I kind of said you'd want a hard neck to call out any particular club.
Yeah.
I said it was going to be probably as tight as it's ever been.
You did to be fair. Yeah.
And it has been, like, if you look at from Fiax 12 up to Crettyard in third, there's only 5 points separating 6 teams.
Yeah, the big thing that stands out to me is Collection are standing out to me because they have the most games played and have 16 points on board.
And their squad is getting
Their squad
thinner.
is getting 10.
Yeah.
And do you know people say, I'd rather have the games done and the points on the board? I think in relegation it's different because you're surviving.
Yeah.
You kind of want the teams ahead of you to like. I can see 16 points being a relegation number. Like I can see Collection going on to 16 points.
Yeah.
The more I look at,
couldn't
I'm
rule it
not
out,
saying
Podge.
I'm not saying that's what I think is going to go
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
But I don't think so. I think any one of them 6 teams could potentially go down. I think if Pats get the 17 points, they're okay, right?
I hope you're right, yeah.
But you're looking. We'll get to the fixtures, but you're looking at Fiax Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like I would. This is my attitude now. I'm not involved with St. Pat's, but I take a point right now in the derby game, 100%. Like, but if I was to predict the team now, and I hate to say it, and I have a bit of a soft spot for the club, I find it hard to see Hanover coming back.
Yeah, look, it suppose it's easy to say that when you look at the table, isn't it? 4 points from safety. Looking
Four
at the
points
fixtures,
from second half of the same amount of games.
yeah,
But it's I think, and you mentioned it earlier on, I think they put a lot into the Pats game. I think they got to a position where they trained really well. They have been training really well. They might have thought they had Pat's number, and they could see within a minute.
wasn't even a minute, yeah. Like
You're-
tip off the
you're
ball.
you're
straight
chasing the
in.
game.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
your game plan goes out the window, and
then
heads can drop and all of that as well.
and
yeah.
then the point of Burn Celtic, regardless of what way the game went, you're not winning. And then to cap it all off for them, 2 massive wins
yeah,
against Parkville at home and Bagnallstown at home,
yeah,
and they haven't kicked on.
which gave them kind of a shot in the arm, didn't it?
It gave them a boost, and that's why I thought going into the Pats game, I thought, and rightly so, they would have fancied themselves.
Yeah, no, we said already that when Hanover were to play ourselves and Burn Celtic, they identify, like I know for a fact, they identified those 2 games where they felt they would get 6 points.
Yeah,
And they've got 1 from 6.
they're not wrong with that mindset, though.
No, you back yourself in every game, especially at home. But 1 from 6 there goes without saying. They'll obviously be very disappointed. The fixtures, see, there's a lot of teams still to play each other as well.
Yeah,
Like I know,
and I think in that group, right?
mm,
In that group, there's a lot of teams to play each other again.
yeah,
You know,
that's what I mean. Like I know Hanover, they've Bagnallstown next, but they still have to play New York again, I believe. Phoenix,
yeah,
Collection.
yeah.
To play
Oh no, I
Collection.
think they're done with Collection. They
Play them twice, have they? Yeah. So I was looking at it the other
They're done
day.
with Pats, done with Collection.
Yeah.
They have Phoenix away. They've Parkville away. They have to go to Craigie,
They have to go to Bagnallstown Sunday morning.
and they have to go to Bagnallstown, and
Yeah.
they have to go to Newark.
Yeah.
And they have 5 games left.
Yeah, 5 games. Yeah, they've played 11, so 5 left. So they'll be thinking they need to go down to Bagnallstown Sunday morning and get 3 points,
Yeah.
which is not an easy task.
Nope.
Now, where results have gone this season, you'd never know.
No, you'd never know.
You never know. Like Bagnallstown, I know it's the other end of the table. They went out to Cretty Yard a couple of weeks ago and won 4-0,
Yeah.
which there's not many teams go to Cretty Yard and score 4.
I haven't seen that this long time.
No, so you don't know. Again, like I said, that's the other end of the table, and things are going differently for Bagnallstown, obviously, than Hanover. But, even looking at ourselves, yeah, I prefer if we were on 17.
Just on 23.
16.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah. But I think it's still very tight, Podge. Like, I think the weekend's results have probably dragged Parkville into the equation now as well. Like, if Parkville had beaten us Sunday, they're up to 18 points. They're third.
Yeah.
Whereas they're now 50, they're on 15. We're on 14. Burn Celtic, were they happy with a point on Sunday?
I don't
Possibly.
know.
Wasn't the worst point they could have got, but again, if a win for them there would have put them up to 18 as well. But I
Yeah.
think with Parkville losing, they're playing New Walk away this weekend.
Mm.
They'll be kind of thinking, right,
I just
we're
don't-
not in the position where I thought we would be in,
Yeah, like it's very easy to be dragged into it. Like it's the only
yeah.
time I've ever seen any league table in my life where you're looking at 4th place could be in trouble.
Yeah,
Like that's nuts.
yeah,
And the standout there, guys, for me is Pats have 4 games left. Probably have to win 2. Hanover have 5 games left. Need to win 4.
yeah. You're probably right there.
Do you know, like that, and that's a big ask. If it was Parkville down there, if it was Phoenix down there, even if it was Cretty Yard down there, like in soccer in general, it's very hard to win 5 games in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you're relying on other results as well, which is never like when you're trying to look after your own results, but then when you're looking to see has anybody done us a favour. And I think that for us that was massive winning up in Hanover a couple of weeks ago, because it meant we just had to worry about what we were doing.
And you were done with them, and it was a 6-pointer.
Exactly. Whereas if we had lost that day, things
say
were
for
a lot
instance-
different then. Like,
Say, for instance, that was Bagnallstown away that morning, and you came away after being bet a 2-1 match,
Yeah,
and your next game was the Plots.
yeah.
Like that's a different scenario altogether.
Yeah,
Like
different pressure then.
I think you
yeah.
played Hanover at the right time, completely right time.
Yeah,
Like Pats could potentially be going to Bagnallstown and have no go home where they're safe.
yeah,
Do you know?
yeah.
Or-
Three points for us Saturday night would be
Massive.
massive. It would, yeah.
Massive. I would take a point, not gonna lie, as a fan. But yeah. And like Phoenix are flirting with there now as well, do you know?
Yeah, I look. I
Like,
think
3 points
after
is
this
just as
weekend,
big for them.
yeah, after this weekend, we'll have a good idea because you're going to have ourselves and Phoenix play each other.
Yeah.
Hanover go to Bagnallstown,
Yeah.
and Park will go to Newark.
There'll be a lot more shape on it.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm after ruining the fixture segment there, but
Oh, you're grand.
that's no.
We're going.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So there'll be a bit more. I'm not going to say it's going to be done after this weekend.
But who
It's
do you think
definitely not.
anyway? Guys, get off the fence there. Who's going
Well
down,
into the
man?
fence there, so yeah.
Splinter arse.
I don't know. Looking at the table, I'd probably say Hanover.
Right now, this minute. Same
Yeah,
as
and
myself.
looking at the
Yeah.
fixtures, yeah.
I just think it's.
I hate saying it of any team.
Do
But-
you know what it is, guys? I think they're close to the point of no return. If they have 5 games left, sorry, 6 games left or whatever the fuck it is, they need to win 80% of their games. If they lose the first game, you have to have a 100% record, and that's very hard.
Yeah.
And it'd be the same for any club that are in that position. And for Hanover, I think for the likes of Hanover to leave a Premier in Carlow is a massive eye opener because they are an extremely successful and traditionally, decorated club.
Yeah.
And for them to go down is, wow.
Yeah, and league champions not too long ago either. When you think about it,
less than 10 years
less
ago.
than 10 years ago, yeah. But I genuinely think, and I'll get back on the fence, I genuinely think there's a bit to go, yeah.
Oh, there is.
Before you can really say for definite who's going to go. You can only really, you kind of pick a team looking at the table, looking at what teams certain clubs have to still play against. But like I said, Podge, anything can happen with any game.
Yeah.
And we've seen that already.
I tell you the truth, it's extremely exciting to look at.
From a neutral, yeah.
It is.
From a neutral, it is, yeah.
I remember I was talking to someone there a couple of weeks ago and I was, Jesus, Pat's in trouble or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, look, I think they'll be okay. And he goes, Jesus, I'd say you're stressing. I said, do you know what it is? I'm actually not stressing because I'm not involved.
Yeah.
I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah,
no,
you'd be grey in the face going around if 100%. You were involved in it, yeah.
100%. Fixtures, guy Joe.
Yep.
Friday, 13th of March. Friday 13th. Whoa. Was it not Friday 13th there recently, no? Is that the second Friday 13th this year?
Would have been 13th of February, yeah.
Go away. Is there 2 Friday 13th in 2026?
Don't know.
That's a fucking different podcast altogether.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Fuck me. Freddy Krueger will be the guest for that one. Was he even Friday 13th? Was he not? Anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Division 3, Collection B versus Burn Celtic B. In the Ladies League, St. Pat's versus Vale Wanderers. On the Saturday night, they were Friday night game. Saturday night, Ballymurphy Celtic versus Newark in the Under 18 Girls Cup.
Yeah.
And Parkville versus Vale Wanderers in the same competition. I'd say that could be semi-final stage. Potentially. Close to it.
Yeah, no, it would be, yeah.
In the Division 1 Youths Cup, also probably semi-final stage, St. Joseph's versus Burn Celtic and Hanover Hearts versus Bagnallstown. In the Division 2 Cup, there's 3 fixtures. Division 2 of the Youths, that is. Ballymurphy versus Pats, return from last weekend.
Yeah.
Newark versus Parkville, Hanover versus Bagnallstown. In the Premier, the Grey Cullen Derby, St. Pat's versus St. Felix, 7:30 in the Meadows.
It's our first home game in 10 weeks.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Last home game was Bagnallstown away on the 3rd or 4th of January.
Last home game was Bagnallstown.
Yeah. Beginning of January, so 10 weeks.
And how many, out of the 10 weeks, many times have you played? Have you had any 3
We
weeks?
played, well, it would have been, with the weather, there would have been,
anyway,
we played Burn Celtic away, Newark away in the Premier Cup.
Yeah.
We played Mill away in the Carlow Cup.
Yeah.
We played Hanover away in the league, Parkville away in the league.
So 5 games in them 10 weeks?
5, 6, yeah.
And none of them are home. Jeez, that's actually a bit
yeah, it's the first home game, in 10 weeks. So, look, people remember that we do have a pitch and we can play at home. So, nah, I'm only joking. Look, those weekends actually, with the weather, we were actually never due to be at home.
Yeah.
So we
Regardless,
lost fixtures that way. Yeah. So
yeah. In Division 2, St. Felix B versus Mill Celtic. On Sunday in the Premier, Newark versus Parkfield, Bagnallstown versus Hanover. We just discussed how important that game is. In Division 1, Stanley Rovers versus Kilree, Newark B versus Boughton-Glass. And in the Division 2, Parkfield B versus Wolf Athletic, Cretty B versus Nerney Villa. In the Division 3, Parkfield United C versus Nerney Villa, St. Joseph's versus Hanover B, St. Anne's Ballylina versus Bagnallstown. St. Anne's win that, they will be crowned Division 3 champions. That's 2 o'clock. And there'll be plenty of beer and Ballylina. That's Sunday night, I'd say.
Yeah, rightly so.
Rightly so.
And Monday,
right.
Tuesday.
Yeah, you need to celebrate them, don't you?
Definitely, yeah.
In the Ladies' League, New Park versus Parkville and Mill Celtic versus Ballymurphy. Teams there can catch up on Vale Wanderers. We're currently top of that league.
Yeah. Just to go back up, Podge, on
Go for it, good job.
White's Pharmacy Division 2.
Yeah.
Saturday night, you have FXB at home to Mill.
Yeah.
I was looking at the table. Nerney, like we were saying, Nerney have kind of come back into the
3 points
equation
behind,
there. Yeah, so if FXB were to turn over Mill, which you wouldn't rule out, FXB do have some good players. I know they lost heavily to Nerney last weekend, but if FXB were to beat Mill and Nerney were to beat Cretty B away on the Sunday, they both have one game left. They both have to play Parkville at home. Parkville B at home. So that could potentially go to I'd imagine a playoff. Yeah, you wouldn't be looking at goal difference there.
Nerney have lost less games than Mill.
Yeah.
They drew 3 games.
Yeah, so that could be an interesting...
Draws kill you there. One of them draws is a win.
Yeah. Now look, it's absolutely Mill could go out and there could be FXB 3 or 4-0.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then Cretty B at home to Nerney, Cretty could turn them over there. But
don't know.
It's not done. Far from done, that division. I think it would be interesting if that went to a playoff, especially where Nerney weren't really in the conversation, were they, for
but again,
for a while.
They gained a few players. I said the Merc last week from Vale, like Lee Conran's out there.
Yeah. They got a couple of Vale
Lee
lads as well.
Premier quality, Premier standard player.
A good player.
I know there's a few others going there and I just can't think of their names, but the question, Eddie Dermody's over. Eddie's very good when it comes to junior soccer. Sure, you couldn't have a better man over you. But you'd question if Vale do come back, how well does that leave? Say Nerney travel up through the divisions there to get back into Division 1, they're close to the Premier, and Vale bring back their first team. Do you know what happens?
Well, where will Vale come back? Division 3?
Well, they'll have to start. Have to start at the bottom, yeah. Of course they will. They can't go back into the Premier,
So it depends with these lads. I know they were with Vale beforehand, but
it's
were they originally Nerney men?
I don't know.
Any of those Nerney youth teams that were really strong?
Bagnallstown, Nerney and Vale are so close together. Yeah. 90% of the players would have played with each of the clubs.
Yeah. And you look at then, like I said, those Nerney youth teams that done really well in Leinster.
Yeah. Sure, Jack is with Bagnallstown. And
yeah.
Do you know, Aidan Ellis
he was with Vale.
Bridge, but he was a Vale, yeah.
So they've all probably crossed
they've all
different clubs at some
I would have had
stage,
John Miley, when I went into Vale, John would have played Bagnallstown. He was on that great Nerney team back in the day, and he played with Vale.
Yeah.
They kind of went, go through them all at some point.
Yeah, that's where you have a really tough job then. If Vale, were to come back in, Eddie or whoever it is in Nerney to be saying, right, we need to make sure we hold on to these lads. And it, we've seen it with so many clubs. It just takes 1 or 2 lads to go, and then friends are following them, and all of a sudden teams look a lot different, don't they?
You notice it, say, where Vale's a great example. So that there's a bit of structure put on it, and they're getting a couple of players and start to get a few big results, and then a few come in January, you start to get another few big results. Then pre-season comes, the lads they were actually close last year. All of a sudden 3 or 4 more lads come in and you're really strong. Gets to December again, 2 or 3 more will come in, and all of a sudden you're like, this is fucking Premier quality. That's what happened to Vale.
Yeah.
And then you get to the top of the bell curve and you start going on the other side, and the players are leaving and all of a sudden you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Especially when players leave when you don't expect them to leave.
Yeah.
You know, we had a situation in Pats a couple of years ago where, in fairness to the couple of players who went to Phoenix, they told us they were going.
Yeah.
So we kind of knew during the season that they were gone. And look, we knew there was always a good chance they were going to go. So although that affects you and you have to go out and you have to look for players and you know you're starting the following season with 4 or 5 players less than what you currently have. If you're a club and you have 15 or 16 as it is and all of a sudden it's July and 5 lads turn around and say, oh no, we're going to play with somebody else. You're scrambling.
Killer.
It's really tough then for clubs that way. Like,
but even that time when, you know, you talk about Scott, Pooch, Keane, Craig.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when they were going back, and I've no problem with going to Field. Do you know, it's not an issue. But you're actually blessed, and you just said it. They told us so fucking, like, told us in May.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew,
So you could go and you could get a Joe Gordon, you could nail down Boogie.
Yeah.
You were blessed with Callum coming in and Ravo coming in. And all of a sudden, like, even though they're really good players that you've lost, you've just fucking replaced them there with equal.
And we knew, like, just in that situation, we knew before they told us.
Yeah, we knew.
Like, we just knew for months it was coming, and they told us, which kind of verified it.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember back that time we played the Carroll Cup final and Craig was out in Spain.
Yeah.
And in fairness, he flew home. Just picked him up in the airport. Yeah, just about got home.
You picked him up, did you?
I picked him up in the airport, he played the game. And that was a player who was that was his last game for Pats. Like.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
You know, he was
deadly in the cup final.
Yeah, she's a brilliant keeper.
Serious.
There's no doubt when he's a brilliant keeper. But we were unlucky to lose quality players, but we were almost lucky in the sense of how we lost them.
Yeah, even getting in Jamie Wall.
Yeah.
Like, that was massive. And Jamie Wall would have been laughed at.
Yeah, he was on his way to another club.
Yeah, you're never going to fill the boots there of
Craig.
Like, you know,
up and coming keeper.
Like, I remember hearing rumours that you're playing a certain team and you're told that shoot on him, he's rubbish. Jamie Wall saved us so many games last year.
Yeah, brave.
Oh,
and for a chap who wasn't a goalkeeper traditionally, he's
good.
Only in a couple of years. He was with Kilree.
Yeah,
he played a couple of games against us, and he was really good. You know, so
he got his nose splattered in the second or third game.
His nose down in Vale. Yeah.
Like nuts.
Brave.
Very good goal.
Should have been a penalty actually, but
should have been. It was a storm.
He got away with it, but he's playing hurling now with Carlo.
Is he going in with Carlo?
Yeah,
Jesus, bro, I didn't know that.
I
didn't know it. I like Jamie. Yeah. Jamie's a nice lad. I like him.
Yeah, he was back around the start of the season. He was in, and problem with his foot, and he could barely walk after.
It's obviously contact. Then,
I know. He's been struggling a little bit. I won't go into it because it's obviously his injury or whatever. But I saw he was in with Carlo hurlers. Yeah, and
fair play to him.
Yeah, he was.
I know that was a kind of a goal for him, all right, that he wanted to get in there with the.
Oh yeah, look, if you're senior hurling in Carlo with your club, you want to go into the county, especially when they're in Croke Park and they're competing in the previous years, you know. But no, look, we've a good replacement in him in Sean.
He's had a good year, hasn't he?
Up from the B team. He's
had a really good year.
He's getting better.
He's
getting better. You're telling him to take it off, take something off the kicks, like, you know. And he's a big chap.
Big lad.
You know, if he hits you, you'd know about it.
Is he a bit gentle?
I don't know. He's like every goalkeeper. He ain't wired properly. And Boogie is his first cousin.
Yeah, that's right.
So the two of them in every game, you don't know who's going to pull the head off who. Like, do you know what I mean? But in fairness to Sean,
Boogie's big one to get back.
Come back
at the right time.
Yeah, we lost him for a couple of weeks there. He was working away in Austria.
Yeah.
So he missed a couple of games, but he's back in, and Boogie's an old school centre half.
Yeah, really.
He's an old school centre half, and Dylan Doyle has actually played the last couple of games with him.
Yeah.
At centre half and has done really, really well. He came in January, and you have that right-footed and left-footed centre half.
Good mix
combination.
Dylan has a wand of a left foot.
He's a great left foot. Yeah. He's a really, really good left foot. Almost.
Yeah. Almost. Fantastic five, guys.
It's time for Podge versus Popa. Have your say in the Fantastic Five. Check it out now on howishe.ie. With thanks to Lee Murphy Kitchens, specialists in kitchen and furniture makeovers. Contact 087 683 1721 or check out Lee Murphy Kitchens and Carpentry on Instagram.
Yeah. Playing for Papa, is it?
You're playing for Papa, yeah. So the
Right,
current
okay.
score is Papa 47, Podge 45. I picked up a few points on him last week. So
yeah, he was well ahead, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was 3 behind last week.
You don't know the forfeits yet, do you? If
No,
whoever loses.
I don't know what it is. I think it's going to be a tattoo or something.
No, well, I know what yours should be if Papa needs any help anyway.
What's it?
Go up the fags.
That's not forfeit, that's torture.
Well, that's advice.
Thanks, mate.
No. Yeah, it's
1, 2,
close again
3,
then, yeah.
4. I
Okay.
got picked up 4 points and Papa picked up 3 points, so I picked up a point on him and he was close in one of the games of getting it right as well, I think.
This is still
And yeah.
going on online. Fantastic.
Still online,
5,
yeah. You can join it online, free entry, sponsored by Lee Murphy Kitchens. That would have been in the intro.
Much is the
your
prize?
chance to win €500.
€500. When did this
Yeah.
start?
They started
Around the
start
early
season.
start of season?
Yeah.
So €500 in today's money is probably about $350, is it?
€350.
Yeah.
If
It's not really worth 500 to somebody now if they win it, is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
I don't know.
Oi,
Wouldn't get much for 500 now. No, I'm just
what do
thinking.
you want me to up it?
No,
'Cause it's
if
Lee.
if it hasn't been won,
Roll it over.
oh no, maybe from this week or next week, keep everybody's scores and the closest.
Well, that is the plan for next year, right? But
I'll do it this year. He's
I-
mad to give away that money. Sure.
no, I work 40-hour week. Do you know what I mean? So like, and Craig does this. So I just send Craig the fix. He does it all, and I don't want to ask him to do a kind of league table now. So I think we might have
Can you not do it?
arrange something. No, no time. We might arrange something at the start of the year.
Any
next
fag
year.
breaks you take at work?
I don't take any fag breaks.
Right, okay.
I smoke at my desk.
Smoke your work. Smoke at the screen.
I smoke at my desk.
Yeah, give the money away.
I don't know if Lee will agree to that, but
Nah, he will. He'll want. He'll get a vote on Instagram. He'll be late.
yeah. No Walk versus Parkville, guys.
New Walk versus Parkville. 4-1. New Walk.
No Walk went there last year, it's
This is in New Walk.
Yeah,
4-1.
I'm going to go 3-1 No Walk.
Okay.
You're going 4-1.
That's the only Premier game in the predictions.
Yeah, I try and get one from every division.
Lovely. That's all right.
Division 1, Slaney versus Kilree, Sunday morning in Slaney.
Slaney at home to Kilree. You
Yeah.
first, is it?
No, you go.
I got Slaney at home to Kilree. I'm going to go 3-0 Slaney.
I went 3-2 Slaney.
2. That's tight enough. Well, Slaney.
So Kilree scored 4 last week
Yeah, I know, but
against
Slaney are
Ballinglass,
going
who
well,
haven't leaked many goals. Have many goals have Ballinglass conceded? Doesn't say.
no.
But
Slaney, no, potentially a win. And if Baltinglass.
I'll go 4-2 Slaney.
Yeah.
I'll stretch it a little bit. 4-2 Slaney. We have Parkville B versus Wolf Hill in Division 2. Up to you.
Parkville B and Wolf Hill.
You're worse than Papa cheating.
No, I've just seen 13, 14. Parkville B at home. Good win at home to Castle Rangers Sunday morning. When I was there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0 Parkville B.
I'm going to go 2-2.
Right, okay. I'm trying to put myself into Papa's head here.
Ari. There's a dark place.
I don't think I really want to be here anymore. I need to get out of here quick.
It's a dark place.
I don't know how to
St.
describe
Joseph's versus Hanover B. Sunday morning. Ooh.
That's Division 3.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to
4
go
points between
2-1
them.
Hanover.
Where is it? Out in
Joseph's.
Joseph's. I'll go for a Desmond there.
Desmond.
Yeah, I'll throw a draw in there. Not
And
much
lastly, in
between
the
them.
Ladies' League, we have New Park versus Parkville. Parkville picking up a couple of wins. What do you think?
New Park, Parkville. New Park at home. Down to Kilkenny. I'm going to say 4-2 New Park.
I'm going 2-0 New Park.
Sorry,
Fantastic. Do you have anything else, guys? Joe?
No, sorry, just one actually result, which wouldn't have been on the website. The college lads.
Oh
played
yeah,
the
congratulations!
final.
Yeah.
Well, they lost the final.
Oh, they got bet.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations on your defeat.
Grim Reaper.
I thought I seen there was someone in the college must have won
the
at some
C
level.
team.
Did they?
The C team won. They won on Tuesday.
I'm sure there's lads.
Actually, Danny, that was involved with us, coaching up until Christmas.
Yeah.
He was there at the Shield final. He was over the C team
okay.
season, so they went on. They won the cup. And
Is he left? Is he on travelling or something?
he's in Lebanon.
Oh, go away.
Coaching, yeah. He's over in
Wow.
Lebanon, yeah. So shout out
Unbelievable.
to him. Yeah, Danny's over there as part of his course. So, yeah, that was the C team. The A team played yesterday in the Eustace Cup, I think it was, Eustace Cup against TUD. They lost 2-1. But it was a good...
TUD, bud? Technical University Dundalk.
Dublin.
Dundalk.
Technical University. Technical University Dingle. Dingle IT. No, it was 2-1. They were
Mullingar
behind
IT.
2. Mullingar IT, yeah.
Go on.
They were 2-0 down very early
Yeah.
and they pulled one back. But there would have been a good representation from the league there.
Carlos, Kai McCann.
Carlos, no, not with
Stafford.
He's with the B team. You would have had 3 lads from Pats.
Yeah, I seen the
Lord,
3 boys.
Sam Murray, Ravo's captain.
Yeah.
You would have had Stafford from
Collection.
Collection. Levy chap from Collection. I know he's injured.
Goalkeeper from Collection.
No. McCann from Parkville there as well. So there was 4, and then Levy who's injured.
Okay.
Part of it as well. No, I looked through the squad and that there's a couple of lads who were maybe in Dublin, Bray, but just on the Connect, if you go in and look at the Dublin side, there was a couple of lads with Shamrock Rovers and a few clubs like that and that, so they were strong enough. That was played up in Athlone Town's pitch.
It's a big standard. That college is
unbelievable.
First level is an unbelievable standard because I'd say majority are actually League of Ireland.
Well, you have lads that are linked to League of Ireland clubs, Leinster Senior League clubs. So yeah, unfortunately they lost 2-1. So you may edit out the congratulations.
No, we'll keep it in, man. I don't mind.
Congratulations to TUD.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what you meant to say. Yeah, but
I thought they won, but obviously I seen their C team pick up a trophy. It wasn't the A team at all.
C team won, and I'd say the C team wouldn't be too bad either if you're down there.
Oh yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, I know the likes of Carlos. You mentioned him. He was with the second team now. He was with the first team.
But the majority of them are on a full time football course anyway. Like the A, B, and C. Well, like there might be a bit more of a mix on the C side of it, but the majority of them are down there doing the FEI course.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
So like there would be good standards.
You might have a couple of lads maybe doing other like engineering and stuff like that. I'd say I don't know. Like I doubt you have to be doing the football course to play football, but a lot of lads that are doing that course they're fairly tidy, like, so so unlucky to them, but
it's amazing that what that course brought to the college and soccer in the college, because like I'd say they're probably the most successful top level team in the colleges in the last 15-16 years.
Yeah, they've won a lot. Won a good bit, haven't they? Yeah, especially like when you look at Carlow, versus your Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway. Yeah, the bigger counties that would that would have League of Ireland clubs close to them as well. So
I think their success would have brought on like the Gaelic side of the college as well, like in the hurling and the rugby and
these scholarships is a big thing.
It's a big thing. It's massive. Yeah, it's massive. I remember in my time when I was young, I was all in Sligo. Like Sligo,
they had an unbelievable and Tralee.
I think Danny Doug has a Sigerson with Sligo.
Yeah, you see, you'd get apprenticeships
out there.
They're going up to different colleges as well, and they're getting drafted in to play football. But look, I could be speaking out of turn. I don't know exactly, but to me, it looks like the colleges are going out actively looking to get lads to come in. When they're in sixth year, they're getting into their area early. Yeah, and they're saying, look, you come to us. It's the model. This is what we can offer. It's the American kind of way of things, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. This is who's in the college at the minute. Like, it's a big sales pitch.
It is.
We can give you a scholarship. We can.
But there's free reign for them to do that. There's no kind of restrictions or rules. No, I don't know. I'm only guessing against kind of going to.
No, because they're giving them.
I know in America it's frowned upon really, it's frowned upon really, really bad for the poaching, but I don't think it's an issue here. Like,
no, because you're still promising an education.
Exactly.
So, and I think any parent would probably say, look, if their son is 16, 17, 18 or their daughter, okay, this place is mad to get you in.
Yeah.
Because they know you're an inter-county footballer, you're inter-county hurler, or you're playing with Shamrock Rovers, whatever the case is. But the college can say, well, we can get them a degree.
Yeah.
They can stay on. We can do a masters. There's all of this kind of stuff. So it works out well for them.
College football at 35 years of age. Like,
but no, look for Carlo, it's brilliant.
It is very good.
Yeah.
The college, I couldn't give it enough praise, to be honest with you. I think it's brought on when a county loses
compared to when we would have been going to college.
Yeah, when a county loses a Lappel, I know they've been replaced, right?
Yeah.
But when you lose a Sugar Factory, Lappel and a Braun, I know you replaced the MSD. I know Nua's out there, and I know the one is in Lappel now. But there was a period of time there where there was not only the college in Carlow.
Yeah.
Like there was no industry. It was only the college.
Yeah, it was just a college. Like
so and they've always, through bad times, good times, indifferent, they've always developed and progressed the place down there.
Yeah.
Building again down there now, like.
That's anytime you go down, it's
unbelievable.
It's a serious place down there. It really is, and I think it's great for families in Carlow, Kilkenny, even maybe into parts of Kildare, where financially they don't have to look at going to Dublin.
Yeah,
they don't have to look at going to Galway, to Cork.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you probably lose the college experience
or whatever. Yeah.
If you're from Carlow town and you go to college in Carlow, you're not a student as such.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot to be said if you're living at home, you're working part-time.
Saving a few bob.
You're saving money. And for parents, that's a big kind of pressure off as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That they're not paying for digs and stuff. So
that's the Third Level Education podcast wrapped up for this week. Anyway, lads, as always, thanks so much for listenership. Any questions, queries, we're going to have a question box every week to get questions on. Good. I don't know when Papa will be back. If he's not back, we have a fairly good replacement in Gaich or a Mert or in whoever else we look to get in. Like, share, follow, all that crack. Anything else before we go?
No, look, thanks for having me. I
Thanks
know I wasn't
no, your top pick
first. Top pick, no.
You're always my top pick, brother.
So everybody's in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, no, look, if you need me to come on, I will. It's a different tax year now, so I can spread out the fees. As
always, not my podcast. It's not Gaich's podcast.
No,
it's Carlow Soccer's podcast. It's your podcast. Good luck and God bless till next week.
You've been listening to the second half of the How Is He podcast with Podge and Popa. Catch us on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and more. And make sure to follow us on social media at How Is He Podcast or visit howishepodcast.ie.